Welcome back. This is episode number 2 of the Club Penguin podcast, right here on YouTube. I am Kibu8884, and today we're going to be discussing a lot about Club Penguin, specifically beta testing for Club Penguin Island and the holiday party. It's been a very interesting week for news, and it's been a very interesting week for the holiday party as well, as we see the reviews come in from penguins around the world. First, we have to discuss the news from this week. Number 1 on that was the updates that came. The holiday party now on the island. Nothing really different from the 2015 version, except you can see some more older rooms, like at the lighthouse and the boiler room, from more of that 2008 era. And coins for change is back as well. You can also ride Santa's sleigh again back on at the dance lounge. You can also throw snowballs at certain rooms like the plaza and the forest to create or to get coins to donate for coins for change. That's part of coins for change. And really the final thing is the 25 days of holiday giveaways, where Club Penguin is giving away a new free item every single day, and every single item is new except for day 27. That's an older item, but day 25. But otherwise, everything is new, and it's great. You also saw the Penguin Style, the Furniture Sauce Igloo catalog come in. Those are all pretty much the same style we've been seeing of no new items. There's absolutely no new items, and all old. Plus new music, or just holiday music, a new pin located at the plaza, and plus a new newspaper, or really just explains the holiday party and the departure of the music jam. In other news as well, Herbert could be possibly getting a redesign according to a Club Penguin Island moderator. And the most controversial news this week, first off, we all thought the Club Penguin Island closed beta was going to end December 1st. It's actually ending December 6th, which is Tuesday, December 6th, which is when you're going to be hearing this podcast. And then there was in the email saying that all Club Penguin beta testers will be progress will be saved once the beta is over for the game when it launches, which has been extremely controversial. I'll give you my take on it and some other people's takes on it in a second. But that was this week's news. Very busy. If you want to visit tkcpcheats.com, you can learn all about the news this week. It was jam-packed. It was lovely, though. I loved seeing all this news, and it's really great for Club Penguin and for the blogs that really want to talk about it in our podcast. So let's get to the first designated opinion portion of this podcast. So, in a recent email to beta testers, Club Penguin revealed that they will actually be saving items or progress on games or quests, items, and whatever you've done on Club Penguin Island in the past 2.5 weeks of beta, or about 2 weeks of beta testing. And there's a reason why it's controversial, and I'm going to explain that. First off, typical beta tests. What happens is, for example, for Call of Duty, you test it, blah, blah, blah. You only get a few days to test it, not 2 weeks, keep in mind. But you're there to test the product. You're not there to get your guns or whatever. But in this case, items, quests, and whatever there is. You're not there to level up. You're not there to do this. You're there to test it, to give the company that had you specially beta test it your feedback on glitches, anything that can be improved, or anything like that. And what was happening originally is they said, no, your items will not be saved and all that, which is normal, completely normal. And that came in a release from one of the updates for the beta. However, now in an email, Club Penguin said, oh, we're going to now save these items to your account if you're a beta tester. The reason why it's controversial is because typically that's not what happens, and it's unfair to the people who haven't beta test and the people who have will be farther ahead than the people who are starting. And then that gives that kind of that irregular pattern of someone's always going to be ahead, someone's always going to be behind. You're not going to be all in the same playing field and all that. So my take on this is, yes, it's unfair. I've been very strong on Twitter about this, and on the blog. It is completely unfair that the people who are not testing get to see the people who did test have a 2-week advantage, almost 2.5-week advantage on them as far as progress goes. And then when they get in the game, it feels like people already have an advantage on you, and it feels like that you're not all on the same level or on playing field. It just doesn't feel right. And not only that, but these people didn't have an option. You had to be lucky to get this. I mean, I air quote about lucky because I feel like certain people were chosen and handpicked by Club Penguin on purpose, but supposedly it's random. So I would think that if it was random, that these people who were unlucky to not get one, it would make sense to all start on a level playing field. I mean, it's only, I don't know how many, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's less than 100 closed beta testers. I mean, it did not seem like that much. And according to what I've been seeing, and sources close to me have said that there's not many people on there. There wasn't. And the fact that they do that, it feels unfair to the people who didn't get the test, and that's what's really bugging me. Then you have the other side of people saying, oh, it doesn't matter, oh this, oh that, it doesn't really matter, you're 2 weeks into it, you only have so many items, you only have so many of this. And sure, maybe to you, and those people who are saying that are mainly beta testers. I mean, you have that biased view of it, so of course you're going to say that. However, you have to look on the side of the people that aren't beta testing, like myself, and many, many, many other people. I mean, it's probably less than 1% of the people who play Club Penguin are actually beta testing, and it just feels like we're forgotten in some way. That it's like there's two sides of Club Penguin where they feel like they care about us, and they do care about us, but they feel like they forget about us, and they feel like they don't forget about us. But in this case, I feel like they forgot about us almost, but before I didn't. And it's this revolving door of situations where I don't know what to think, if they really have a reason for it. And of course they haven't said anything about it. I mean, it was just that email. It's been a huge controversy. They had to have seen it, and I just wish they would acknowledge and explain and give us a real reason. I mean, the email was very vague and what they said about it. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's this non-communication portion that I can't stand. We're going to argue about it on Twitter for as long as we can, and we're not going to get a confirmed answer exactly why this is happening, but I feel like it's totally unfair for the Penguins who weren't able to test, and I feel bad for everyone that wasn't able to test, because now it feels like there's more people with an advantage, and it really just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Do what normal betas do. Just wipe everyone clean, start all over like you guys said. And in the email, they said they worked really, really hard. I mean, you worked hard to do that for no reason. There was absolutely no reason at all. They cannot give me one reason why they had to do this. It made no sense. And my thing is, for Club Penguin, is why sit here and why sit here and accommodate for the people who beta test when they're randomized? It's not like they were paid. If they paid Club Penguin to beta test, that's one thing. But they were randomized. So why sit here and do that when you just wipe it clean, start all over again? It wasn't that big of a deal before, and now it's a major controversy. And I'm really sick of the non-communication from them when we try to ask them why this is happening, blah, blah, blah. It's frustrating, and I can't stress that enough. So yes, it's unfair in my opinion, and I think for many other people, they feel the same way. I mean, when you feel that sense of I don't know, I don't want to say we're forgetness, but like that sense of, wow, we weren't really thought of in this situation. It's hard to really sit down and think about why they did this. There's no common sense behind it. And I've said it before and I said it again, I could have ran this by myself 100% better than they could have ever ran this beta test. No, nothing's ever perfect. I get it. However, this was very imperfect. This was very poorly ran beta test. No communication, nothing whatsoever. And if there was communication, then it was either behind closed doors or it was behind or with other people on Twitter where Meg contacted them. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's really frustrating. And I want some communication. Some communication. And I just want to know why this happened. More importantly, but yes, unfair. I think it was absolutely unnecessary. Doesn't make any sense. And yeah, maybe it's gonna go away in a month or two. But hey, that's how I feel, and I think that's a majority of people feel. When it really comes down to the nitty gritty, people really feel like what I just said. And I just wanted to get that out there, that it is the communication that bugs me the most. Or not, well, it's part of the reason, but really that's what bugs me the most. And when it comes down to it, we really need to get that communication down with their fans. Let's talk about the holiday party next. Holiday party. So we learned it was going to be 2015 version by Meg a few months ago. So we knew it was going to be very similar, but we also didn't know. But we didn't know there were some things we didn't know, and we weren't sure what exactly what it was going to hold as far as like rooms went and everything. And as far as everything goes with the items and everything, they were great. But we weren't expecting anything spectacular. I wasn't, that's for sure. There was no leaks or anything. But it really was spectacular the way they did the items. And I felt, when I first logged in, it felt the same as last year, of course. It feels like the last 3 holiday parties. It's all going to feel the same. What felt different, though, was probably going down to the lighthouse and all that. There was just a different vibe there. That's because they introduced new all rooms there. But really, I'm not extremely thrilled with the party. I think it's hard to be thrilled with the party when you know you got this like 3D new world waiting for you. But really, if you take that out of the equation, I just don't think it's a good party. I think it's so repetitive. There's nothing concrete there to do. And I've said it before, the bakery or the train station, you include one of those in this party and you automatically bump this party up to a whole new level. And they didn't do it. For what reason? I don't know. I know there was a committee that was that went to Meg, and they gave them ideas about what they wanted for the party, and they gave them the ideas, and Meg said it really wasn't possible to do some things like the bakery, and I don't see why, but, and again, no communication, but it just wasn't able to happen, I guess, and it really just makes the party feel dull, and it makes the party feel, just not, it just makes it feel boring, and I just don't like that. But what really made this party maybe a little bit better was those old rooms, added the boiler room, all that, but it didn't do too much for me. I mean, a room doesn't have a lasting effect. It gives me about a 2-a-day appreciation. What a lasting effect to me is the amount of rooms and what goes into the rooms as far as features wise, a train station or a bakery, and that didn't happen this year, and that's what makes this party disappointing overall. I would say, though, the incorporation of 24 new items in a 25-day period is impressive. I love it. I think it gets people to get on to Club Penguin and go and get the new items when they can, and it bumps up their daily amount of people on, and that's fine. I like that. But overall, the party just isn't there for me. And if I had to rate it, it'd probably be about a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. It's not that good to me. I felt disappointed by it. But then again, I didn't, because we knew it was going to be like the 2015 version of the party. And we also knew that this party wasn't going to be up to par with other holiday parties, mainly because they're working with Club Penguin Island. So you factor all that in, and it makes a difference. But overall, I think the party was pretty dull. I don't think it was necessarily a party that will go down as one of the best in holiday party history or whatever. But I think it's a party that it was a filler. I mean, it's one of those filler parties, and that's what 2016's been. And partially 2015, it's been filler parties because they've been working on Club Penguin Island. And I respect that in a way, but come on, you got to give your audience something to go with. And I think the holiday party did a bad job of that. I'm not gonna say horrible because I think it did an okay job in a way, but really it's just bad in the way of there's nothing to do. I mean, Santa Sleigh. The problem with Santa Sleigh I have is if you've already done it, if you did it 3 or 4 years ago, you already have the 3 or 4 items that are on there. But if you haven't, okay, great. The low resolution, it's in that game because the game requires so much graphics, and it would lag if there's not. It looks awful, like Karditsu snow and water, and it affects that a lot, and I don't count that as a feature, but it is a feature, but to me, in my head, it's not really a feature, because I wouldn't really use it. It's not really part of the party, in my opinion. It's really just kind of out there in whatever land, because you had to add it because you didn't have a bakery or a train station. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the most disappointing factor. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it again. It's the most disappointing factor of this party. If party does not have a good feature to get people to get on, then the party is automatically just not good, in my opinion. So, great items, bad features, horrible features, bad way to, bad holiday party. If you had to rank it, it'd probably be about second or third last on my list of holiday parties over the past, 11 years now. Alright, enough opinion for this moment. We're going to get to our story of the week. It's by Club Penguin Scoop, and it is, here's why I love Club Penguin's Holiday Party 2016. Yes, we just got that, basically bashing the party. But Gary Gray wrote a really nice article about what he likes about it. And I do agree with some of the concepts that he likes about it. And it gives you better aspect to things. So if you want to go read that, it's down in the description. But it opens up your mind to maybe some other things about the holiday party. It opened up mine a little bit, but I'm still on the bad side of it, of course. Now we're going to go to our Twitter Q&A. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the show because I get to hear from you guys and what you want to ask here. Quester, or CP Island Quester, said, how do you think Club Penguin blogging will change with Club Penguin Island? Okay, so this is just one question. So how do I think it will change? I think it's going to dramatically change the Club Penguin blogging industry for one reason only: mobile. And kids use mobile, teenagers use mobile, and people are going to be looking up Club Penguin Island cheats, Club Penguin Island guides, Club Penguin Island help, Club Penguin Island news, Club Penguin Island whatever on Google, and it's because games going to be massively popular at first, I'm assuming. And when it does that, people are going to be on there looking and looking and looking, and people are going to be on the mobile device where they're playing the mobile Club Penguin Island. So thus these Club Penguin blogs have to convert into mobile, as our website is currently trying to do by the time this comes out, because that's what people are going to be using, and you want people to start using. So it's going to change in that aspect. But like writing style wise, I think what's going to happen is you're going to write less and more pictures, because that's what a lot more people are going to go to. I've noticed that over the last 6 years of blogging, people like pictures more than like writing. People don't like reading anymore, whatever. So when you include pictures with graphical images like with an X or a circle, whatever, to point out what you're trying to describe to them, that's what people want to see. They don't want to read, really, unless it's something really, really specific. So I think it's going to change in that aspect. If it's going to be really mobile only, you're just going to want to see pictures. And I think it's going to help. Club Penguin blogs are going to be really popular, at least from the beginning of this game. I don't know how long, or if it's going to be for a long time. But if you are thinking about doing a Club Penguin blog, do it right now. Have you ever been in Club Penguin Island? Club Penguin Army. This is by Quester still. Yes, I have for like 2 days. I like Club Penguin armies. I think they're great to bring people together. I don't like the bots. I think it's horrible. You don't need to do that. But I think they're great for bringing people together. I mean, that's what Club Penguin's about. And what do you think of the Club Penguin Desktop getting a CP Island remake? I've said it already that if it's great. It's going to help the game. Wish it was on desktop, though. Another question from Quester. CP was supposed to release in 2010. Do you think that would have been too long, or do you think it would have been excessive? It would have been too long, because in 2010, we're in that transition period of technology's getting better. We have to start doing this. Mobile devices started coming in with the iPod, with the iPhone, with other devices, and it would have been the wrong time. 2005, 2004, 2006, 2007. Perfect timing, because people are still on the computer. People are still doing this. Kids don't have access to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, none of that yet, until now, of course. But that's where it was at. For people, that's how you interacted. It was perfect timing back then. But 2010 could have been okay. And he says it then would have been a success. No, it wouldn't have been a success. But, well, it depends what standard. For me, my standard wouldn't have been probably. But for them, it could have been good. But then they would have to do this Club Penguin Island type thing earlier. But sure would have been different. This is from friend Jad, however you pronounce your name. When did TKCPC start/open? We started on June 28th, 2011. And I remember that very well because it was a great day working with Trekman 3 when we started that blog, and it's been incredible since. And I can't thank you guys anymore for visiting. It's really been special for the entire team that we have there. It's been incredibly special for us. And this is from Sniffy Bear 2. How do you think parties will work on Club Penguin Island? I kind of explained this in the last video a little bit, not very much, but how I think it will work. I think it's going to work like this. I think you're going to have a party every 2 months. And you're going to have that party for a few weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then there'll be a new party. That's one possibility. Another possibility, they're just going to do like an Easter type thing, a Christmas, a Thanksgiving, maybe, possibly, probably not though, a Halloween, something like that. Just a few parties. Or they could do it like they do now, every 2 weeks, every single month. But really, they better do something. I mean, the game is not going to last without parties, I'm telling you right now. This is from Nina1059CP. She said, what's the first thing you would do when you get on Club Penguin Island for the first time? First thing I would do is probably type in the chat to see how it works and how different it is, because I've been very excited to have a new chat system. It really is not good right now. And the last question is from Lestoid. I believe that's pronounced your name. Do you like Club Penguin YouTubers? Yes, because I guess I consider myself one now. And I think Club Penguin YouTubers are great. It's been dying the last 3 or 4 years, mainly because Club Penguin doesn't have content anymore. But I think they're great. I think we should have more. They're very valuable to this community, and it's just an easy way to get to people like this. And he also said, what do you think of Club Penguin Island? Like I said before, I think it's great. Can't wait to see it. That is all for the Twitter Q&A. Now we're going to get to my takeaway from the week. People are upset. I've said it for years. A lack of communication is not good. And that is what Club Penguin is bringing to Club Penguin Island already. And I'm very scared because that is what I've been seeing the last 2-3 years, and it's been terrible. Ever since Billy Bob left, I personally believe that the communication level has been down to record lows in my book, and we just need something good to be back. Speaking of general manager, hopefully will be announced soon. Still waiting on that, but hopefully that fixes. But that's my takeaway: is people are upset, and you need to get to those people before something major happens, and you lose people again, like you have in the last 2 or 3 years. Also, want to quick thank you to Serge CP. He recently just made his last Stamp Sunday. You can go check it out right now at tkcpcheats.com. He made his last post, for now at least, for Stamp Sunday, and I appreciate everything he's done for the website, and I wish him luck for whatever he does next. But he will still be on the blog. He's going to be a backup for Club Penguin News, but he's done for now.